Hello, my name is Christy Myers, and I'll be presenting my case study. I am in EDLD 7535, utilizing data and leadership under Dr. Barton. Here we have the purpose of data reflection. This helps teachers be committed to their students so we can access their learning throughout the school year. The agenda for this case study, the purpose of assessment, the case study information as well as steps, trends, strengths, areas that need improvement, and next steps that should be taken regarding this data. Here we have the purpose of assessment, assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment of learning. These are three components that prove why data is important in education. Our case study information is a third grade team. We're looking at the review of pre-test data and post-test data. Steps that I'll be taking are to identify trends, area of strengths, places of needed improvement, and next steps to take. Here we have why we look for trends according to the textbooks we are studying during this course. Trends that I noticed looking through this data is during the test, the correct score percentage seemed to go through a sloping decline. The students in EDLD had a higher percentage success rate. All the students that were in SPED class remained the same except for one that dropped, and the small group of Abigail had the highest improvement rate from the pre-test to the post-test. Strengths that I noticed in the data, I have 5 of these. There was a vast improvement from the pre-test to the post-test on question 1. I noticed Abigail's small group had the high success rate from the pre-test to the post-test. All students in EDLD had an overall percentage of improvement from the pre-test to the post-test. 40 students stayed the same or did not drop from the pre-test or the post-test. Those are only those that took the pretest. Some did not take a pretest. 62 out of 78 students answered question 1 correctly on the post-test. So that was a vast improvement from the pretest to the post-test. Areas that needed improvement I found in the data. Students in SPED had a higher percentage drop from the pretest to the post-test. The students in ESL, EM dropped from the pretest score to the post-test. Students in RTI remained the same and showed no improvement. The scores diminished through the progression of the test. I don't know if this was due to time increments, to students becoming tired through the test, or just students losing that drive to continue. Not all students took the pretest, so therefore that is an area of improvement because I have no data comparison for those students. Next steps, small groups implemented for the SPED students. Tutoring programs offered by objectives. This can be done by looking back at the testing program. Hopefully it breaks it down into standards so you can see which students were struggling with which standards and where we need to meet these groups and when. Homework, reflect for these objectives for student need. What questions were they missing? What standards? What do I need to test on and tutor on? What did they need the extra practice? They'll set up some teacher-student conferences to review this data and set up personal goals for them to have something to drive towards. Also, parent-teacher conferences to review this testing data, discuss the student goals they set and what you're going to do to help the student make these goals. Leaders implementing change. Here we have a reference from the text of why this is important to guide others and setting priorities. Here we have the credits to the textbooks that we used during this course and that I used during the implementation of this PowerPoint. And I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, my email is below. And thank you for viewing this PowerPoint.